Woohoo! Hello there, welcome back to my channel. My name is SKYMAN Universe, and your Star Wars quote for today. It is obvious this contest can't be decided with our knowledge of the Force, but our skills with our lightsaber. Today we're going to be reacting to Season 3, Episode 1, and 2, and 3. The final season. I got really attached to Bad Batch by the end of Season 2, and it sort of led for a really nice sort of conclusion for this season. However, you've got the conclusion, but it also opened up like this massive scope for like almost a clone rebellion. I don't know if that's going to happen, or clone uprising or something like that, but that's something which I'm sort of secretly hoping from the back of my mind. This season, I've read a review, you've probably read it as well, or seen it circulated at least, saying that everything's chucked into this season. They go above and beyond to make this a great one, and they only watched like 8 episodes or something like that, so goodness knows what's going to happen for the rest of the season. It's a long season as well. There's a lot of episodes in this, which is good because this harkens back to sort of early Clone Wars seasons as well, like in the Clone Wars days, not the final Disney versions, like the actual proper Clone Wars, you know, fully fledged season on Cartoon Network, that sort of era, which I really like for this. This is a step in the right direction, but too bad it's at the end already. I mean, it seems like yesterday we were here doing the reactions already, but how's that actually past that time is just crazy how quick it goes. Everything has changed, but nothing has changed, in the words of Mark Hamill. We've watched the trailer for this. The trailer looks pretty insane, and so many cool things look like they're on the horizon for us, and I really hope that it sort of continues with the whole clones, sort of like Cody, you know, he's staring at the wall, memorial wall, and he sort of disappears. Rex appears to be doing something in the sidelines as well, and I feel like on that side massive things are accumulating with the clones, but also on the Empire side massive things are accumulating with the phasing out of the clones and the bringing of the Stormtrooper. The only thing which I've said previously as well, this era for me is like Palpatine's sort of holiday season almost, and now he's sort of destroyed all the Jedi. Everything else should kind of be like a breeze for the ultimate Sith, and anything that he does, I know that there's, you know, the galaxy requires more and more things to do and more uprisings to crush, etc., etc. For a Sith, that's probably enjoyable, but also you think for Palpatine, this whole life he's been working up to like this moment to be emperor of the universe, and now everyone should be in fear of him, and it should be him literally having fun. I mean, we saw how much fun he was having dueling Yoda on the Coruscant. Didn't look like he was having so much fun dueling Mace Windu though, for some reason. But yeah, that sort of same thing where he's just got ultimate power. Everything's just be hilarious for him, and he just shouldn't really care about much. That's the way I see the Emperor, but I know that's probably not going to be the case, because it kind of is a big thing when your whole entire army could be changing and could switch sides or have allegiance problems, and yeah, you need to rectify that immediately. So all of that story is going to be really juicy. My main hope, I think this was my main hope for Season 1. I bleated on about it throughout the whole Season 2. But my main hope for this season is Crosshairs to rejoin the team. I think he's in the position to do so, but the only thing that concerns me here is that Crosshairs is going to do like a noble act and save Omega, and that's his act of sort of rectifying all the bad he's done and becoming good again. I hope that's not the case. What I really hope by the end of this season, and SKYMAN, I'm talking directly to you for the end of this season now, is that we have Crosshairs, Hunter, Omega, Echo, Wrecker, and Tech. Crosshairs, Hunter, Omega, Echo, Wrecker, and Tech. If we get them all together, and then the Bad Batch theme kicks in, and then, yeah, that would be a pretty sweet way to end the season, and pretty cool to sort of head off into the galaxy. However, we know what happens with the Empire afterwards, and we kind of know what happens with the clones in a certain respect. Like, we don't see them again, really, like in the films. So perhaps, yeah, I hope something good happens to the majority of them. That would be just nice for the clones if they like literally change allegiance thing. But you could totally do a thing where the Empire literally wipes them out, which makes it even more sad for the Clone Wars and the clones, because it's like everything they fought for, everything they did, they too were betrayed, just like the Jedi. You know, it's kind of like poetry. It rhymes. But anyway, there's a lot of exciting things I feel like that's on our horizon here at the moment. So it's a fresh new start. I love this moment so much where we get to watch Star Wars together and react and talk about all the cool things which hopefully are going to happen. And before we jump in, I'm always really sort of aware the state of like filmmaking and Hollywood and Lucasfilm and the types of people that might be making things and the ideology and politics, etc., etc. And that's probably why I don't watch any modern films or anything on streaming services. Star Wars is literally my only exception. I will go that far because of my love for Star Wars. But I think that's pretty much it. I think if I really unleash the full SKYMAN, that should be for another channel, because I could, oh boy, I could really get going for that. But yeah, I'm hoping that Bad Batch sort of is something that proves me wrong, that something good can be churned out, because as much as I wanted to love Obi-Wan Kenobi, for example, the series, with all my heart I wanted to love it so much, and there were segments in there which were really good. Seeing all my favourite actors come back, incredible as well, and for that reason I won't forget that show, but that should have been made by George Lucas, and it should have been a movie. And yeah, and I'd say the whole feel of it wasn't up to scratch. It didn't complement the absolute momentous story which could have been an Obi-Wan Kenobi story, and the character that we all love. Everything should have been thrown into it through production and the canon and the lore, and even things down to the costume, the look, the development of like his hair, for example. It's always sort of gone closer and closer to Alec Guinness and the look and the sort of greyness. But it could have gone the other end of the spectrum as well. We're totally sidetracking here. I'm sorry, this is what I normally do. But Obi-Wan could have had long Qui-Gon hair, and then if they did another season, then he could have cut it to be more like Alec Guinness, for like a sort of passing on the torch sort of thing. But yeah, just simple things like that I feel like is missing in a lot of Lucasfilm shows. Like Boba Fett could have been incredible, but there was something that constantly drew you away and took you out of it, whether it was the story, the costumes, the location, the cleanliness, the music, I don't know. There was always like that element there. But even I'm watching all the Star Wars prequels again. I'm going through Star Wars, you know, as I normally do. And you could tell that with George Lucas's like inclusion, for making you feel like you're in the story and in the universe, and being a visual storyteller as much as just being a normal storyteller. That's what I feel like is sort of that missing link at the moment. So I really hope Bad Batch really sinks us in, and this final season is like pure, full-on Star Wars. Let's watch. Also, before we begin, I'd like to say thanks for joining me. Like, I know probably the majority of you know that this is sort of my side channel, but one which I really love doing as well, and getting to do this together, which is really cool. Thank you for subscribing if you're sort of new, and I hope you enjoy our Star Wars journey together. SKYMAN, that was a long introduction. Let's watch and enjoy.
To the Emperor, we shall usher in a new era.
That was a great episode. He's just literally using his Imperial officers and commanders.
As are you.
All of those episodes are really good.
Crosshair turned on the Empire.
Let's
If there's a chance to get him back.
One of the things which I completely forgot about was the whole thing that Amiga could be Force sensitive, which I'm still kind of rooting for. Shoot me
They bring
this.
me here.
I didn't realise how epic the last season was, and emotionally charged. Well, I feel like I've just watched the whole season there. Why didn't they just use all of the Bad Batch helmets for that? You can tell already, like every season it always progresses in the upgrading of the look and the environment. It looks even more realistic and stylized.
Not this far out.
You could tell instantly this is all. I never thought that I'd
Good morning, Omega.
grow to like Omega.
How are you feeling
but
today?
Like a
We have much to do.
yeah, much Imperial stuff to do. Plenty of it. Woohoo! Those bones don't look so good to me.
If you're a clone like me, how come I never saw you on Camino?
Nalase is expecting these.
Poor Omega. I have that thing where I sort of hope that a Jedi will go in and then just do an Anakin Skywalker. Like with Newt Gunray. To save Omega, of course, and Crosshead. And the other clones.
Why are you discarding it?
Tell no one.
This reason.
What, because
Not
of
like what we did on Camino, is it?
Metachlorians?
No,
You mean the clones?
no. Not the clones.
How nice to see you reunited with your trusted assistant.
Come on.
Sure.
Buzz off.
Presence here will only strengthen your efforts.
We'll probably have to wait till the end of the season
we
to
head
find
to
out
the
what they're saying. I mean, it's making it feel a bit tense, you know. It's sort of cool, collective, slow walking, but it's a bit of a contrast to like a banging opener like Bad Batch was for the last season of the Clone Wars. But there's the air of mystery and intrigue here. Agreed.
Better?
I see the symbolism.
Crosshair. I tried to come early.
There is no we, and there is no escape. I've already tried. Before you make things worse for both of us.
Just take it, unlock it, get out of the... One of the things I'm hoping is that it's not going to be an end of the season thing where nothing materializes with Crosshair, and it's that constant thing where he's sort of in there. I want to see him out there in action. I look forward to seeing them in action. They do their job well. I've been playing one hell of a lot of Battlefront now. The Commandos are literally the only class which I suck at so much. My god, I thought that was the end of the episode. I was like, wow. My god, I thought she just force lift something up.
If
But
she
for me,
doesn't
it's sort
get
of
better
calm and
soon,
interesting.
Maybe I can steal a med kit from the lab and see if there's anything
It's
I
cool,
can
at least they're
use.
talking.
Is your primary objective.
Escape?
Then stop wasting time on lost cause. If I get the chance to escape, I wouldn't think twice about leaving you behind.
You're lying. You wouldn't do that. You're my
You just don't know what Crosshair's saying, if it's full of crap or truth or... I love it. Has her hair got longer? I've just noticed. It was good. That's almost making me feel anxious. Thinking that's the end.
What's going
Is as understanding as I am.
Good. Hopefully the Emperor's going on holiday, then pay him a little visit. Bye-bye. security. And then we go first episode. I mean, it's a very interesting way to start a series. Like, tonally, it's completely different to what, say, if you were having a Clone Wars or an earlier Bad Batch season intro where it's jam-packed with action. And this is it's a lot more serious. If I was going to compare that to something with it, it sort of gave me a bit of the Andor vibes. A little bit. There was a lot of sort of personal, in-depth characterization, I suppose, of the different people in there. But it's cool to see that interaction between Crosshairs and Omega and her sister there as well. I thought that she wasn't going to be of interest, but the fact she left that cuddly toy there, I mean, there's hope for her as well. So I'm hoping there's going to be maybe a slight little bit of progress in there. And draw up an escape plan, and then all hell breaks loose or something like that. It was sort of staring her in the face though, the sort of, you know, the animals, you can just go out that way. I would have thought an episode like that, I wouldn't say, if it wasn't followed immediately by other episodes, I don't think that probably would have been a good idea to sort of draw any interest for people, because if people haven't watched the previous 2 seasons and they came into that, they'll probably think, what the hell is this? Like, what's happening here? You know, there's no action, there's no sort of introduction of the Bad Batch, there's sort of not that excitement there. But we know Bad Batch to be quite action-packed, and obviously Clone Wars as well. That's the whole premise of Star Wars, really. But yeah, this was very... The thing that I get, the vibes I get from that Jedi Knight, Jedi outcast going around there, sneaking around the Imperial stuff, and it was just ominous, and there's something about the vibe which I got from that there as well. But I like the fact that Crosshair and Omega are talking to each other, but Crosshairs, you don't know if he's good or not. Like, I think he is, but where he says he has no hesitation leaving Omega behind, I think that's just probably because he's too good now. Now he's looking out for Omega. I think there'll be something, a strong bond there. I hope anyway, at least, and then that continues forth in Bad Batch. But next episode, will Bad Batch like Hunter, Wrecker, and who else is in there now? Echo? Is Echo even in there now? I think he is. Yeah, and is Tech, realistically, do you think Tech is going to make a return? I really hope he does. There must be some ingenious thing which he was able to have a safety plan implemented, or some sort of tech thing. I mean, it's Tech after. I hope in the next episode that we get to see them. I know it's very much focused at the moment on Amiga and in the facility, etc., and all the experiments over there. The one massive thing though, it's got to be midichlorians, like in the blood, for sensitivity. Because why else would they be trying to keep and trying to hide DNA and blood and things? I mean, I know they're trying to get like the pure thing, but there's got to be something else, something special, and which is kind of a great storyline, really. And it creates all of that, just creates even more tension, and even Lama Su, she's in a tough spot, like having to choose between, you know, what to do, because it's inevitable at some point she's going to have to, like, you know, produce some sort of result. So yeah, I think it's very much, that was very good at showing this sort of calm collectiveness, scheming of the Empire in a way, and what they're up to behind the scenes, and just sort of keeping those clones there, almost as if they're just, what, to them they are nothing, like they're being tested for stuff. That's kind of sad to see, because obviously we know what the clones did best in the Clone Wars. So that's like always the tie that you have with watching Bad Batch is because of relationship with the Clone Wars. Maybe some of you actually just watched Bad Batch first. I mean, if that's the case, then that's a planet which maybe I'd like to visit as well, because I'd like to re-watch the whole of Clone Wars without knowing what happened. That would be awesome. But yeah, I think we'll jump straight into the second episode. What I'll do, I'll just separate all of these and just make them separate videos. Just keep it a little bit more condensed and to know what's going on. Keep the reactions dedicated for every episode. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the reaction. Subscribe if you're not with us already. Take care of yourself, and remember, the Force will be with you always. See you next episode.